Hello from the Volunteer Development Team with Iowa 4-H Youth Development. Today we are going to talk about some resources on the 4-H Volunteer Development webpage in My Extension associated with volunteer roles and expectations. As you can see, I'm already logged into My Extension and at the 4-H Volunteer Development webpage. On this page, the resources we are going to look at include the volunteer roles and expectations, which is under protocol and forms for volunteer trainings. This can also be found on the volunteer management webpage at the bottom if you look at volunteer roles and expectations from the volunteer participation policies. So I have clicked on this and it opens in a new screen, the volunteer roles and expectations. This is something you would want to use as you're identifying what role a volunteer is playing, the expectations that have for each of those roles, including the training, the screening, and things along those lines. To begin with, we have a piece that describes what all adult volunteers will need to do to be involved in 4-H youth development. They include foster and promote the needs of youth and the outcomes of the 4-H experience, promote positive youth development, provide appropriate supervision, develop working relationships with parents, extension staff, and community partners, and also follow the ISU EO screening policy. You can click on that and it will bring that right up to you. It then goes in to describe other positions that may be fulfilled by volunteers, such as club group Clover Kids volunteers, project volunteers, activity volunteer, and resource volunteer. So it describes some of those expectations associated with each one of those positions. To help even more, we have further defined some situations, included the volunteer type and what training and screening might be applied to them. So if you are not sure based on those definitions, go ahead and look at the other pages and it has some situations that might apply to that volunteer and it will help you further decide what might need to happen with that volunteer in regards to screening and training. And we have all sorts of examples included in here for you to look through. If there's something in there that you're not sure about, that doesn't fit in one of these situations, you can connect with your youth program specialist or you can contact our office and we will help you walk through that. Another resource that we have that can help you with volunteer definitions is in the ISACHR manual. Again, you can find the ISACHR, the Iowa 4-H Youth Development component of it on My Extension under 4-H Volunteer Development. So if you click on that, it will pull up the ISACHR piece. You may have it in a handbook. This is just the electronic version. And so if you go under the screening tab and look at definitions page 1 and 2, that includes information about the definitions that we have for our volunteers. So here is the example. It talks about direct volunteers, club and group volunteers, project, activity, resource, indirect. You may hear the word new volunteer, episodic, youth volunteer. So if we do have a situation where you have a youth volunteering in your 4-H program, whether that's in Clover Kids or in some other situation, it talks about that in the ISACHR manual as well. So we just wanted to share those two resources with you today so you know where to look as you're onboarding volunteers, as you're assigning roles with volunteers, as you're sharing with them their expectations, what training they need to have, what background screening they have, and all of those other things. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us and have a great day.